Welcome to East Coast DNA. I'm your host, Darcy Walsh, and today's guests have been very patient with me. We have The Quiet Wild, which technically it's again, but nobody's ever going to see the other one. So for those of them who've been following East Coast DNA for a while, they know that it happens occasionally that I have some technical issues. And this case, we decided a redo was in order. So thankfully, it's a holiday weekend for the time of the recording anyway, so it'll be past then for anyone watching this. But I happen to be in the same county as the two ladies joining us today, so they were gracious enough to give me their time again so we could go back and redo this interview. So thank you both, Miranda and Courtney.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So originally we had talked at Wranglers during the Music Day in Canada. Mm-hmm. So there is some footage out there from that I'm sure a few people have seen. There was some cool photo shoots done by Richard Land, also amazing, from this area too. Yeah. So definitely people are going to be seeing those photos in the future here as well. Mm-hmm. But the bigger deal was that we had a celebration of 11 cities across Canada, and Glasgow was lucky enough, I guess, to be able to host one of the events, and we had you as one of the performers that night. So I did spend time talking to you.
Yes, you did.
And I went back and listened to that again today before you arrived to kind of get into a little bit about what we talked to, so I wasn't repeating too much. But really, we kind of scratched the surface because we were rushed for time as well.
Mm-hmm, absolutely, yeah.
So I don't want to keep you too long where it is a holiday weekend and you have family and friends to visit. But let's, this time, we'll go back a little bit further. So when I talk about the region that we're in, it's Pictou County, for those that aren't super familiar with East Coast DNA and me completely talking about Glasgow every episode I can.
Yeah.
But Courtney, you yourself are from the area.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I do know some of your family and, of course, some of your friends, being that we're in the same circles with music now too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Miranda, yourself, you're not originally from Pictou County.
No, I'm not.
But you have an Antigonish connection, which kind of pulls you a little closer into my circle because I do know people that know you through that as well.
Yes, yeah. So, I mean, I grew up in Amherst and then somehow found my way into Antigonish and then found my way into Pictou County, and it feels like an easy transition, like coming from Antigonish to Pictou County, because there is such a close connection between, especially in the arts and in music. Like there's definitely a good connection between both towns. So, yeah, it was an easy transition coming here.
Now, you'd mentioned Amherst before as well, of course. And now I'm curious, your music itself, like, did that start as early as Amherst, or is that something that you picked up later?
Yeah, I want to say I was like 4 years old when I started playing music. Both my parents actually were in a band together, and toured around Cumberland County. So I got a glimpse of that really, really young, and got to see what it was like to perform live. And so yeah, my music journey definitely started in Amherst. And funny enough, like when I was growing up, and I was young when I lived in Amherst, and even like middle school and to early high school is when I started to play more music, I would say. So, like, I feel like the Amherst scene was a little different, just because I was getting into it just then, right? But when I moved to Antigonish, actually, music kind of flourished a little bit better for me. There was more opportunities and more things to get into, so it's interesting to think about it like that. But now Amherst is, they're doing really well music-wise. They're hosting, good musicians. But it's, I think it's been a work in progress there, so it's interesting to see.
When I've had artists on that are from that area, like the Amherst area, we always end up talking about New Brunswick because of proximity. Yeah. And the advantages of being that close is that you can kind of get a presence known in that direction.
Exactly.
But it seems to be, and I've talked about this with regional differences with a few people, like not just Amherst area, but like being from Quebec and different regional differences that way. Yeah. But it does seem that coming the other direction when you're in the Amherst area, you almost pick if you're going to go back into Nova Scotia or if you're going to go into New Brunswick.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I'm glad that there's a Pictou County connection so that you're on my radar this early.
Yeah.
But with you moving around, do you find that you kind of built a little bit, I mean, maybe you don't want to call it a fan base, but it would be a fan base. Like the people that are going to your shows, do you find that you do have a wide region for your demographic of people that are aware of who you are as an artist and that are coming out to see you specifically?
Absolutely. It's funny, actually, the Music Day in Canada show, I had a friend that I played music with in high school, and he came to the show and he said, I've been wanting to get out to your guys' shows and just haven't had a chance, and he brought his whole family. And so it's funny how just like the little networking that you do, like even just having those connections, like him and I played music together in high school, and you know, never really did anything crazy with it. We just did it for fun. And then to see him come and be like, this is so awesome that you're doing this. Like, I hope we can reconnect and make music again. So, and I feel like even like the more shows we kind of play, we have people reaching out, just being like, hey, I saw you at this show, or I saw you here. Like, I'd love to know when your next show is. So yeah, I feel like any networking is really good. And I definitely have made like a ton of connections just moving around and being in different scenes, and yeah.
And now for yourself, Courtney, when did you begin your musical journey, I guess?
Not very long ago. I mean, growing up, I took piano lessons here and there. I did fiddle lessons for a little bit when I was a kid, but I grew up an athlete. That's always been my thing. I was a basketball player. I went and did my undergrad at Acadia in kinesiology, and that's what I'm also doing my master's in as well. So I still have that athletic side. But for myself, I want to say, I mean, I played guitar here and there, but it was the basic 4 chords, like Campfire, not very good, could not play bar chords. Like, this was middle school me.
She's so hard on herself.
middle school me? Yeah, I know. It was not as good. But then I discovered rock music.
Yes.
And my dad's a big Def Leppard fan. And I became a big fan. We went and saw them in 2019 when they came to Halifax. And that was when I was really like discovering myself and figuring out not just myself, my style, but like my goals, I guess. And I was like, I would be listening to these guitar licks and these, you know, listening to Slash solo, and I was like, man, I want to do that. And this must have been would have been 2019 when I first picked up an electric guitar. And that's when I first started like actually seriously taking it. Like, I was taking it seriously. I'm fully self-taught though. So, I mean, I did do lessons for a little bit, but I found it wasn't really helpful for the way that I learn. It's just YouTube and going on Ultimate Guitar tabs, really. And then I just kind of figured it out from there and then progressed. And then we ended up meeting and getting really close. And you were like, you need to come over and jam. And I was like, ugh, okay, because I was still pretty new. And I feel like that just like, that has helped me progress a lot as well, just being able to play with her. And then, you know, also I feel like we just match each other really well. We're very similar when we play, and it just opened up a whole other world of guitar for me and of music, and even going outside of the rock genre as well. She's really got me out there, because I was full on just like Led Zeppelin, Def Leppard, Guns N' Roses, like that was my stuff. But now I'm more into the country stuff as well, and now I've really fallen in love with like that southern style bluesy stuff. So I've only really been playing since 2019, but I absolutely love it. Singing wise, I did musicals in middle school, and that was about it. So I don't have as much of a background as you. And musicians, like within my family, I have an uncle, he plays Jason Brushett. I'm not sure if you're aware. Yeah, so I look up to him as well as a guitarist, and my cousin is an amazing, amazing singer, Cameron Osgood as well. So there is some music in my family as well, so they're all very happy that I've taken on this music project and everything.
Oh yeah, and I do want to give a quick shout out to that too, like as far as like supportive families. I because I know who a lot of them are. I notice their presence when
Yep.
you're out performing.
Oh, they're
so-
always there. They're always
They're
there.
amazing.
Anne was there on Music Day in Canada, so that was really nice to have her there. And all of my aunts and uncles, they're all really, really great. So
Now, before I get into the kind of duo formation, I do want to ask the slide guitar, did that come in before or after you became a duo?
before, so we were in a band
Yes.
for a little bit. That was kind of when we first really started playing music together, and we were just a full-on like rock band, whatever. And then I ended up doing a trip to Ontario, and this was when I started discovering slide. I discovered some of Slash's songs. He plays some slide in there, and I was like, oh, I want to learn that. And then I discovered a resonator guitar, and I've been watching videos, and I was like, okay, I need to get one. This has to happen. So I ended up buying my resonator, which I call Bodine. So for a long time, one of our songs was called Bodine because it was the first song we ever written with the resonator, and we didn't know what to call it. So we're like, well, we wrote it on Bodine.
We
so
almost named our band that too. We
Nice.
Bodine is
Trio.
what created this, I feel like. And then, I fell in love with it. I started learning how to play some slide on my acoustic and stuff, and I wanted to try it out, and I was like, okay, we're going for this. And I mean, I still have a long ways to go. I feel like I've come a long way with it, but there's still so much more I want to learn how to do on slide, and I've just completely fallen in love with it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing to see. Like, you do see a few people that are doing it, but it's definitely something that stands out when the two of you are performing together.
Yeah.
So now, as far as that, the formation of a duo, we had touched base on the fact that you were in a band. So kind of an evolution as yourselves as songwriters led to you being a duo?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I don't know
definitely.
if you want to start.
Yeah, like we would get together like outside of the band and start
And
working
before
in
the band.
Yeah, even before the band, like we weren't an established duo, but we were jamming together and writing stuff, and like I remember you having a looper and we would just like loop random things and be like, oh my god, that would be such a cool song to write. And I don't know, that kind of just transpired, and we brought some of our songwriting into the band that we were in, and wrote a lot of like instrumental stuff. In terms of like the actual lyrics and stuff, that kind of came, it was kind of in the works, I think, but it came more so when we, actually formed as a duo and established ourselves as that. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and I think, so the song I was talking about that we call Bodine, that's actually our song World We Know. I was like, okay, we need to change the name.
Yeah.
So that song, so when I actually bought this resonator, I bought it right before our actual band formed. But we were we had some people moving in and out of the band, but the band that we had for 2 years, it formed like a week after I got back from Ontario. And I remember coming up with that little picking pattern at the campground right after I bought the guitar in Ontario. And I had sent it to you, and we were like, okay, we need to do something with this.
Yeah.
And then like a few months later, we kind of came up with something in the band, and I just looked at her, I was like,
That's not
it. And then we just never did anything with it. And then you were playing around with it one time, post the band.
Like 2 years, almost. Well, I would say almost.
No,
3
I think
years.
it was last year.
Yeah, it was last year.
Because I'm still in school, so
Yeah.
I was just doing my first year of my master's, and you were like, I figured it out.
Yeah.
And you sent it to me, and I was like, this is what this song was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I think that was really what started the duo.
100%.
I think that was
song
the beginning of us. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with
Yeah.
that.
So now that you had the duo formed, I do have a lot of questions about the future of the duo, and the history of the duo isn't too long. But one question I can't believe I haven't asked you yet: the name of the band. Where did that? Like, we talked about potential names,
Yeah.
but where did you actually get the name from, and how did you settle on it?
Oh my God. I think that
it took us a long time.
It
to
took us
figure
a
this
really
out.
long time.
We had family members helping us out with this too.
we really struggled. We even used like Chat GPT, and we're like, this doesn't feel authentic, but at this point we don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah.
Like, how are we going to come up with a band name? And I feel like it was your aunt. I feel like it was Anne.
So I mean, ChatGPT is great.
Yeah.
We use it for a lot of things on how to like set up our gear properly and stuff. We were using it to try to find names. We couldn't find anything. And then my aunt, Anne McGregor, she just looked it up, and then she kind of found a couple words that Chat had and put it together. And we were like, she said, Quiet Wild. And I was like, that's too close. That's like Quiet Riot to me. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't like just Quiet Wild. And I was like, what about the Quiet Wild?
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, I like that. That sounds good. Like, we wanted to find something that just like felt right. Like, it just sat with us, and we're like, it's kind of represents us. Like, not that we're wild. I mean, we're quiet sometimes, but like, I don't know. It just felt like our vibe, I guess.
I felt authentic to the music that we wanted to make. And so like, like you said, like, I don't think we're very wild people per se,
really,
but it just felt like, it matched our energy and the vibe that we were trying to, put out there through our music. So that's kind of how that came to be.
It took a long time.
It did.
A very long time.
6 months. Like, I'm not joking.
At least.
Yeah.
At least. Yeah, we figured it out right before our first gig, and we were like, okay, here's our name.
Yeah.
So
we had a deadline, and we met it.
Yep. That's all that matters. But we love it. We love the name. Yeah.
And you joke, but did you actually have a deadline because you had a performance or something?
We did.
Yeah.
And
it was our first gig that we had at Backstage, and we were like, he was like, I need to know what to call you guys. And we were like, yeah, that's true. We do need a name. So we were like probably a couple weeks beforehand was when we figured it out.
I think so.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And another Pictou County connection to keep the whole origin story of Pictou County.
Right,
too. So
right, yeah.
You're definitely a Pictou County band as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Forever and ever.
Yep.
Labeled.
Yep.
Yeah. So now I am curious, like, you've had live performances and you've had some good traction. I mean, outside of my own personal experience with you, I was aware of you already because you did have, and I think I put it in a post with some of your photos from Shoebox, but there really was a buzz around me about you as a duo. So, I mean, I already had a little bit of an idea what to expect, but definitely the word is on the street that there's really good quality music coming to the two of you. So I wanted to know where it was coming from.
Yeah.
I wasn't surprised by the genre when I did get to hear it, but being that I hear some of Courtney's origins and influences there too.
Yeah.
I do find it interesting that myself, probably I'm more so in your dad's demographic, and because of the type of music that you would have had kind of passed down to you, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Anything like that, it might not be right pinpoint on the same generation, but anything like that I listened to, it did kind of make me a little bit of a rock snob for a period of my life. So I can relate to your kind of awakening into like, oh, some of this country music ain't that bad.
Yeah.
It's like, surprise, surprise. It's like the most popular genre in the world. Like, it's insane.
Yeah.
But I do know that some of the artists that you talk about too, like when you really dig into them as a fan and you start seeing their influences and some of the other stuff that they do, especially when they're breaking away from a band and doing stuff that's a little bit more intimate, they do start leaning into that country and that blues. And I mean, all of the rock music goes back to that at some point anyway. So like, you can go back far enough, it all goes back to the same thing.
Yeah.
But a lot of artists that I know that kind of have that evolution as a musical style, it takes a while for them to be playing the band, the rock style, and hitting the road for a while, and maybe a little bit of partying. It all kind of goes hand in hand, right? Yeah. But it seems like you've made that progression a lot faster for yourself.
Yeah.
And I mean, that doesn't insinuate anything of the maturity of anyone else that's still doing the rock journey. I love that music, but I find it, is that the influence of Miranda as far as being somebody that you have a shared musical journey with?
I think part of it is she really got me listening to some like Chris Stapleton. She knows my style. I always have liked kind of that darker kind of, if it is Southern,
Like
that
outlaw.
dark, heavier kind of, I like that kind of stuff. Like I'm a big Supernatural fan. That's all the type of music that's the, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just, for me, my like main influence is Slash, but it's not Slash from Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
It's Slash with Miles Kennedy and the
Yep.
Conspirators. And that's where like our song Hell Lot Better, that picking pattern that I came up with was very Slash inspired. And like he has like another song, I can't remember, Beggars and Hanger-Ons. That's the one where he does a lot of slide. So like I'm hearing a lot of his bluesiness. So I started going into that direction, and then you started being like, hey, here's this, you should listen. Every day I at least get like one, here, you should listen to this song, sends it to me on Spotify, and I'm like, okay.
And
So you're like slowly influencing me. But like my mom is a big country fan as well. So I get a mix of the rock from my dad, the country from my mom. I think I was just so focused on the rock for a little bit, for a little while, that
There's
I was
nothing
like a
wrong with
little
that.
closed-minded for a little bit, and I was just like, nah, this is it. But I've really, with that, and her influence has really helped. She's been finding songs that are kind of like picking out like little pieces that I normally like to hear in a song.
Yeah.
So she just knows me really well with that. So that's really opened up my perspective on music.
Yeah. And I think it's funny too, because like, I think historically for myself, I never listened to country music. Like I grew up listening to so many different things, like 70s inspired music, like Motown. My dad was a radio host for 40 years. So he played all kinds of really, really cool music. So a lot of singer-songwriter, which, you know, if you look at country music, it's singer-songwriter, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's really, it's funny to make that connection, because I was always like, I will never listen to country. I will never like it. And so then all of a sudden I found certain artists, especially like Canadian country artists, and even just like Chris Stapleton, Larkin, like artists that were more like Southern and brought like the rock elements, but also the singer-songwriter style. And I was like, geez, like this is really cool. It's really cool to listen to a story and to be able to relate to it in some way. And I was like, I would love to have this element of like writing in our songs. And it's funny that all of a sudden I was like, oh, I think I really like country now. And now I'm going to country festivals and and just like learning about different artists. So yeah.
And I think like for me, I'm not quite ready for the country festivals just yet, unless Chris Stapleton is going to be there, honestly. But like with Larkin and even Chris Stapleton, I think for me, the big thing that I found with rock and like with rock music is not just the lyrics, because I find country is very focused on like the lyrical side of things, but I'm more on the emotion in the guitar.
Yeah.
So Chris Stapleton brings that into his songs. Larkin they bring in the emotion on Her Lap Steel, stuff like that. So that's what I look for in music. So not just a bass, like a classic country song, I'm like, okay, it's a classic. But like I need the emotion in the guitar, in the music. That's what I look for, and that's what I was getting from rock, but you were showing me other things that had that emotion, and I was like, okay, all right, I can get on board with that. I think it's okay. Yeah.
And it's interesting, like I feel like we kind of bounce around like into different genres and like I don't know, like I love rock, I love classic rock as well. Like I grew up listening
to Simple Plan. That was my kind of music
like,
that I grew up with.
Like more grunge rock and
and like
so even in like our sets, like we play like I would say more like pop punk or like
Teenage Dirtbag
was a perfect example of like early 2000s like rock. So it's funny that our genres together have like amalgamated into like this one thing, and so and we respect like what we really like. So I think that really helps in our songwriting too.
Oh, big time. Yeah.
Now, another thing, I've probably been on the record a few times talking about this, and quick little little footnote there, I guess. Myself, I used to listen to the Edge radio station quite a bit to learn about like alternative bands that maybe I wasn't hearing about around here through any other source. And I can't even remember who to give credit to for it. Like it probably was somebody like Alan Cross, because that's somebody I would have been following for years. But they were talking about cover songs and how some artists will change it. And I definitely have changed my opinion back and forth over the years. But one thing that really struck me in that conversation they were having on that particular day was when an artist does a song so faithfully to the original recording, they're like, what's the point? Now, they were talking from the point of view of a radio replay.
Yeah.
So if you put that lens on it, it's a little bit stricter and very valid point.
Yeah.
What,
Oh, yeah.
if it's going to sound identical, what's the point?
Yeah.
Now, if you're coming up through a bar scene, it's because of the familiarity.
Yeah.
But I do know that you, thankfully, because I do love the style, but you take the approach of taking songs and making them your versions.
Yeah.
So it may be familiar songs that people know, but it's a little different. If you're not paying attention at first,
Yeah.
you might be like, well, like, I don't know that song, but all of a
What are
sudden
they doing?
I know the lyrics or there's something in there that's familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love it as a music fan, especially with the volume of music that I take in. Like it makes it a little bit more unique experience for me, I guess. So I don't know if everyone feels the same way. I'm sure you get mixed feedback from different people if it's
Not everyone will.
it's a classic.
But,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think we're really like, we're really self-aware, I think, in the sense that, like, if we play it a certain way and there's a vibe, like a weird vibe, it's like, okay, maybe we shouldn't do that again. Like, I don't know if they liked that. Or you're just not in the right crowd. And I feel like when we're picking songs for our set, we're like, okay, how do we want to play this? And what do we think the feedback is going to be like? Like, I think we do a lot of that overthinking in a sense, because when we played in a band together, like, we played songs basically the way that they were written. Yeah. And that worked. Like, crowds loved that, and there's definitely a demographic for having cover songs exactly the same way that they are. But we've got a lot of positive feedback actually about, like, taking our covers and arranging them differently. Like, we've actually had a lot of positive feedback.
I don't
about
really
that.
know if we've had much negative.
Yeah.
We haven't really it's been all positive for the most part. And I feel like too, like, some songs we're gonna play pretty identical. Like when we do the chain, like we're doing the chain. Yeah. But we're obviously not a full band, so we're not gonna, we kind of change it.
That's part of it too.
We change certain aspects of it, but to the point where it's not gonna be too different. Like, we want to give people that feeling of, oh, they're listening to the chain. Like, that's a classic song. Or we do Wanted Dead or Alive, we play Wanted Dead or Alive, just not on a 12-string. That's, like, the only difference. But, like, I don't know, with, like, Teenage Dirtbag, we know, like, we know what our style is as a duo, and we try to match that. So playing Teenage Dirtbag the way it's supposed to be played doesn't really match us.
Yeah.
But playing Wanted Dead or Alive matches us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we pick and choose certain songs and decide, okay, which ones, generally the ones that are outside of our genre of what we are, those are the ones that we choose to change mostly, because we know people are going to recognize them from growing up in their childhood or early 20s, whatever it may be. But we know, like, the big songs we don't usually change those ones too much, but, like, you'll add in a guitar solo here and there for some of them.
Yeah,
and, like,
exactly.
With Valerie, we added in a guitar solo because why not, right?
Yeah.
That's what we are. Change it up a little bit, but I feel like we know kind of the limits on how much to change a song.
Exactly.
Sure, it's your stage, but as a
Yeah.
performer, you got to kind of go with the vibe of the crowd.
We want people to
100%.
enjoy it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
we enjoy it no matter what, but we want to make sure people are, getting to enjoy the song, and it's not, because I know I've heard some people change some songs, and I'm like, like, it's so different, but as a musician, I'm like, that's really cool, but as someone that would just be a basic listener, like, that's not how the song's played. So it's, you gotta know your people, you gotta know who's gonna be watching you have to know your crowd. I think.
I agree with you 100%. Yeah.
And now one thing that I definitely talk about with other artists, as far as that dynamic between cover songs that you're playing to the crowd more so than what you're doing, but how you integrate your original songs into a set like that. Now, you definitely have to play to the crowd because the Maritimes are great. We have a lot of venues, and I mean, there's venues closing all the time, but there's also new ones opening all the time.
Yeah.
But I do know from being at so many shows that, like, that crowd can really change from place to place. So
100%.
I'm curious with your experience, like, I'd like to say limited experience because of the time frame, but it's not that limited. Like, you've played a few times now.
Yeah.
So as far as the reactions you've been getting, maybe we won't get into all the venues you played because we pinpoint the crowd too much. But as far as reaction from the crowd, like, from my experience seeing you perform, it seems like people are there for the musicianship. And I know that where you get a little bit of hometown advantage, you're going to have some people that are going to love it regardless. But you do have the fans that are there for the musicianship more so than a cover song. So I am curious, like, have you had any trouble working originals into your sets? Or you've been finding that the reaction's pretty much the same whether you're playing someone else's song or your own? Or
Honestly, like, we've had a lot of positive feedback, like, with our original music, like, actually more than I thought.
People want us to record them.
Yeah, they're like, can I please have a
this?
recording?
I want to listen to this. I'm like,
we're just like, all right, we'll try when we can, I guess.
We will when we can.
Yeah, so, which is really interesting to me because, and I think part of that is because, and I agree with you, like, on the Nova Scotia or East Coast in general, like, there's definitely, people love to hear original music. Like, it doesn't matter where you go. Like, I mean, there's probably some places that it would be like, okay, choose your crowd because they might only want cover songs, right? But, like, I feel like most of the venues that we've played so far have been very positive in the sense that they would like us to play the original music, right? Like, Shoebox is a really good example. And definitely kudos to them to bring original artists in. Like, I think that's, like, so cool. And I think we need more of that because I think there is community for that in the East Coast. So, yeah, it's been really good so far with our original music and you know, feedback from the crowd.
And I feel like we've been, like, when we started off, like, we obviously only had, a couple songs that we were doing that were original. So we were mainly doing covers, but we were changing them up and making it different. So that kind of showed a little bit of our musicianship and, like, what we have, like, what we're able to do. And then as we've progressed throughout each of our performances, depending on the length of them, we've been including, like, 1 or 2 extra originals each time.
Yeah.
Because we have six now, I think.
Yeah.
6 originals now. So, and spacing them out, so it's not going to be a full set of originals, but it also depends on the show that we're playing.
Yeah.
So we arrange it depending on where we're playing. And people, a lot of the people that have been coming to our shows, like, they've been coming to multiple of our shows. So they know what to expect, and a lot of times they're excited to hear the new original. But we're also including in a lot of the crowd favorites for, like, covers, right? So I feel like we've been doing a really good job of spacing that out as well while we're able to play our originals. But I mean, the goal is to hopefully play just originals and build a following on that. But right now we're happy doing our covers as well. So.
Yeah. And I think we recognize that too, like the importance of doing covers. And I think that builds a foundation for any musician, like, and it just shows pieces of who you are. It's like, okay, here's what I like. I hope you really like it too. So you can bond over music, or, you know, if you meet other musicians, it's like, they're like, oh man, I love that song. Like, I used to listen to this. And then you get into conversation about that. Right. So I think covers are a foundation, and I don't think we'll ever not have a cover even in our set list. Like, if we, you know, go fully original and we're playing shows like that, like, we'll still, I think, even incorporate some covers that we love.
Yeah,
And
I mean, I get excited when I go and see a band or musician and they play a song from my childhood, even though I'm there to see them. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is great. So it's nice to get that little surprise too, right? So you never know. They don't know what we're going to play. So that's always the fun thing too.
Yeah, that is the fun thing about it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't actually think of too many performances where there's not some type of homage or tribute built into the set list to something of influence or something that's going on in the world that there's some type of reference to. Like there always is, especially even like the big name performances. They're doing that too. Like it's the way, it's what people want to see and it's what people want to perform. Like you do want to work that in. But now the originals, I do know that I've also heard a few people want to record you as well. So, I mean, that's a great problem to have.
Yeah.
And I do know, like you had mentioned it earlier, Courtney, that you're still in school. You have that to finish up before you focus too much on the duo. But that time's coming too. Like there's a light at the end of that tunnel. It's not
I
that
graduate
far away.
this year, so hopefully. I plan to graduate this year. So, and then I do want to move back here. So that's the plan, is finish up my schooling. It's really, really busy, but it's nice that we're still able. We wrote most of our songs away from each other. Yeah. Just voice memo back and forth, back and forth. I think
every song we've written actually has been,
think so. At some point.
Voice memos, FaceTime.
Yeah.
Which is cool, and it'll be interesting to see once you graduate and we do get together and we have like actual sessions to see like, okay, can we still make the same music?
Or we're gonna have to do it separately.
I don't think it will change, but it's just funny to think about that. Pretty primarily like all of our music we've written distantly from each other. So,
but I am very much looking forward to moving back here, so we can really focus on it and try to get like some regular shows and stuff and just do as much as we can with this, because we've been getting a lot of good feedback and we're both really, really enjoying it. I'm having the time of my life. So when I go back to school, I'm like, oh, okay. Back to school I go. As much as I love it, it's just like, man, I wish I could just play music the rest of my life. And
And I feel that way too. It's been interesting because I've kind of gone through like different careers in the last, I would say 5 years. Like I've really kind of changed careers and did music a little bit more professionally, and then kind of got away from that because I was like, I don't know if I love the touring life or love doing all that kind of stuff. And then like we formed this together, and I was like, no, I really love that. Like there's
a bonus when you're with your best friend too.
Oh, 100%.
It's not like we don't like each other. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
We like each other.
And so I think there's something super cool about that. And it's, I don't know, it's inspired me to be like, I'd love to do this like more full time, or I'd love to do this as like an actual, profession, as opposed to, it's a hobby thing, right? And it'll always be a hobby thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like at the end of the day, like that's kind of what I always thought. And then we started writing and
getting really good feedback that we weren't expecting.
We weren't expecting that at
all.
all.
We're just like, whoa, okay, we just sound pretty normal. I don't know. And everyone's like, no, you guys are great. I'm like, okay, so this is good. We're getting good feedback too, and it feels good.
It does feel good.
We're having a lot
like,
of fun.
And I think for the first time for both of us, like we're both really like imposters. Like I think we both have imposter syndrome, and I think that's very like prevalent in a lot of musicians. To be like, oh, we're just making music. Like, I don't know what's so great about it, but I feel like the feedback that we're getting and just playing the shows is building that confidence to be like, no, we're here to do this. And so like this means something to us. So
we've got something. So
there's something there.
We got to keep working at it. We got to keep working at it and see how far we can get with it. Yeah.
And now, as far as recording being an end point for some of those originals, are you taking the time now, because you're having the opportunity to perform in front of people and you are getting that feedback? Have you been tweaking them? Like, do the songs change? Because they're yours.
Yeah. They definitely change. Like, it's so funny because every performance like we do, I'm like, ooh, I like it a little bit more now. Like, I just feel like the originals like evolve even more.
Well, and what you've always known, we were like, because when you had originally like written it, and I had helped out with writing it, but like ultimately it was, you came to me and then we kind of tweaked it. And then we adjusted it to be played acoustically, because you originally written it to be on electric,
Yeah.
like full band.
Yeah.
So we had tweaked it, and then for the show for Music Day in Canada, you're like, man, I miss how I used to play it like on the full band. I was like, let's do it that way then, and we did, and people loved it.
Yeah,
and I think
it just gave more energy.
It
too.
gave more energy because generally, like we played it, and it's been a very slower song,
Yeah.
and that just like surprised everyone when we did that, and I really liked playing it that way. And
Me
it's
too.
nice to get that bit of that like low and then that nice high energy and then back down, and we've been tweaking for sure. Some of them will
100%.
always stay the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you there.
Go ahead.
We even have been like talking about like, I think like 2 weeks ago we were talking a little bit about recording over like the Christmas break and just kind of getting that time to work on things because she'll be off of school.
Demos.
So we have some time to record some demos. And so, we've already been having the discussion of like, okay, what kind of elements do we want to include? Like what kind of sounds, what kind of layers, do we want to include in these songs? And it's interesting because I already know that when we go to record these things and have other musicians, like studio musicians play, or even friends play like pieces of the songs, it's going to evolve even more and it will change probably even more like from like the very beginning voice memo.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I really look forward to that because I think there's something really cool about hearing a song that just comes together. And even if it's not entirely different, like it's still the acoustic guitar, it's still the voices, like you add these extra layers, and I don't know,
we can always bring it down to an acoustic.
Exactly.
Like, I think the goal, like after we graduate, is to still be performing the two of us, but then depending on what show we were playing, maybe having some other musicians step in with us and make it even a fuller sound.
Yeah.
But it will always go back to like the two of us, so
Yeah.
there'll always be a chance to see it the way that we've always originally played it, but then allowing it to evolve when we want it to evolve. And yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, despite the collection that you were looking at on the way in,
Yes.
off to the side of physical media,
I keep looking at it.
I do really like the live performances.
Yeah.
So I do find the more and more that I'm out at live performances, the less that I'm looking for the recorded versions
Yes,
of songs.
Exactly.
I super have a lot of respect for the production process.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I consider them now variations of the live versions of songs too.
Yeah.
Because in my particular instance where I talk to a lot of performers like yourselves, I know a lot of those songs as living, breathing songs that you hear little different tweaks every time you hear it. So when you hear a recorded version, there's always that little bit of polish, and there's always that little bit extra instrumentation or some vocal harmony or something that's added that maybe you don't get in a live performance when you're a solo or a duo.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to hear your recordings, but what I really want to hear is the evolution of those songs, especially once you're done with schooling and you have some more time to focus on that. Now, for yourself, Miranda, what is your deal in the meantime you're not in school?
Yeah, I mean, I am working my regular jobs.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm fortunate enough, like I get to do the duo. I also play with Moira and Claire. I play guitar for them. So I'm going to do a little bit of stuff in the meantime. But also, like, I mean, I guess going back to our duo, we have other songs that we're thinking about.
We've got one that we're working on.
We have one that we're working on.
Yeah.
And so I'm fortunate enough to be able to, focus on that for a little bit and let it sit. And I'm hoping to, like, we even discussed, like, if we're recording demos, then I record a little bit, I send it to Courtney, she adds on to it.
We both have little setups.
Yeah, we both have little
so we can record.
small studio setups. Actually, like, this is the first time that I've had kind of like an actual space for music, so I'm really excited to see how that's going to evolve too, and whether we use that as a space to record or I don't know, but I think I'll keep busy music wise and really focus on orchestrating certain things for us. But I also think too, like, even since Courtney has gone back, like since the summer, getting in contact with musicians that we think would really add to our band if we were to have a full setup, and even just like getting together with other artists to write is kind of where I'm at. So we'll see what happens.
It seems like it's a really good time for you to be in that place as the duo too. Like,
Yeah.
if you have to slow down the pacing in that way, the timing of it works out really well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like you
Yeah.
mentioned doing work with Moira and Claire.
Yeah.
So I think you'd mentioned that you were going to be going down to Music Week potentially
Yes.
there too.
Yeah.
So I mean, the networking for that type of thing at those
Exactly.
music industry
Yeah.
events is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, Music Newfoundland and Music New Brunswick both have their events right around now too.
Yes, I think you're right.
But coming into the winter, I'll have theirs around February time frame, and then this year we have ECMAs
Yeah.
in Sydney. So
That's right.
hopefully I get to see both of you up there. I'm going to hold Miranda to it.
Yeah, I can't guarantee anything
I know.
just yet.
and we kind of had that
I'm very
conversation.
busy, yeah.
Like we definitely, like when Courtney's graduated and we're kind of working on that networking and even just to go for the conferences, like we definitely both, even if we just go as delegates, like just to go and be there and whatever, right? Like just to witness the different workshops that they do. I got a chance last year to go to Music Week, and it was super eye opening because, you know, they have festival people that come from the UK, and they get all kinds of different groups in to talk about, you know, how to establish yourself, or even, you know, so I think it would be a really good opportunity for us to network as a duo. And there's a lot of bands in the Nova Scotia Music Week scene. I mean, Moira and Claire are definitely a duo and amazing duo.
phenomenal.
But it would be cool to, you know, kind of enter as a duo and be like, here we are. Like we want to establish ourselves. So yeah, I'm hoping that, you know, next year it would be something that we could look forward to.
It's
And
definitely a goal of ours next year.
yeah,
For sure.
and I think in the meantime, I'll try to work my magic.
I'm trying to get through the last little bit of this.
Yeah,
Next
exactly.
couple semesters.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it, but I mean, music is definitely kind of the number one thing that's just on my mind right now. And yeah, just working through that, and then you kind of do your thing, get out there, get us out there, as
Yeah.
you know, and we'll just keep, you know, doing what we're doing right now, and then hopefully start letting things take off after I graduate. So yeah.
Well, it sounds like you're putting a nice solid foundation behind everything, so
Yeah.
that you're giving the duo the opportunity
Yeah.
to flourish in the future.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've had a lot of artists on where I've asked what advice they would give younger artists that are starting out, but you're already at the point where you feel like an established band, like even just to have this conversation, like you've obviously talked to some of the right people already, and you're in the circles where there's an awareness there. So it's great to see. I definitely want to keep an eye on where you're going in the future, and hope to run into you, maybe see a showcase at one of these events coming up in
That'd
the
be
next
super
year or
cool.
two.
That'd be awesome.
Now, for people that are new to you, that are not already following you, where should we send them online?
Yeah, we are on Instagram and Facebook. So Instagram is just at The Quiet Wild Official, and then we're just The Quiet Wild on Facebook.
Yeah.
So
And now a quick little bonus question for Miranda, because you play guitar with Moira and Claire, and because you're half of this duo,
Yeah.
is it even possible to have both on one bill? Like, can you handle doing back-to-back shows?
I mean, they're very flexible in the sense that, like, they're like, hey, do you want to play a show? And if I'm, you know, busy or we're doing something, like, you know what, I'm busy, but they've kind of rotated musicians too. Like they've had different people play with them, and so it kind of, you know, they're flexible that way. So it's been really good. And like I said, these next couple weeks I'm going to be busy with them, but then, you know, once that's over, then once we get into November, we have a few shows. Like Courtney and I have a few shows, so it's a nice little. They're very down to earth when it comes to that kind of stuff, and are very understanding. So I don't think there would ever be any conflict in terms of, you know, certain things.
I don't think so. And even if we were to play, say, like the same show
Yeah.
It's something
Yeah,
you
it's
could
just-
definitely handle it, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like you could. But
Yeah, I don't think it would be, it would just be a really cool opportunity.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think maybe after recording, I want to pick your brain a little bit about the Antigonish music scene
Yes.
specifically. Definitely East Coast DNA started off strong this year, dipping their toes into Truro, and
Yeah.
we have a good foundation in our own network up there now. We've been collaborating with quite a few people up there. But I find that Antigonish is the same distance away from me, and
Yeah.
maybe I haven't kept the ties as strong that way. And where the ECMAs are going to be Sydney this year, I should start working my network towards Cape Breton, maybe.
Yeah.
See if we can close that gap. And I think come May, we'll have a lot of people to meet up with. So
100%,
it'll be some
yeah.
good time to maybe we'll have another sit down and record another interview at that point.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
And I think for Courtney's sake, they just moved the dates too. So instead of the beginning of May, it's the end of May. So that may
okay.
make it easier for you to go. So
I will be graduated by, I think, the second week of May.
there you
Perfect.
go.
And as
So-
long as I pass all of my exams, I should be good to go. So, I mean,
well, we should probably let you go study then. We definitely want to see that happen.
that is true. That is true.
So I know I occasionally have people perform when they come in here, but I
Yeah.
do have a live performance from the Music Day in Canada that we talked about. So we chatted briefly before we started recording here too, so I could get the approval for a song before I put it up. So anyone that's listening to this that's going to stay and watch, beautiful song. The video's great. I didn't have like a soundboard recording matched
That's
up for
totally
this.
fine.
I do have soundboard recordings if you would like them for yourselves.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
But I don't have it matched up for this video. This is what it sounds like if you're at the bar watching it.
Yeah.
If you want something that's higher quality, you're going to have to wait for the girls to actually get their recordings together. So you get about a year's wait. But
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be lots of video content on social media in the meantime.
yes.
So recommend people go out and follow you out there. And for anyone that's not already subscribed to East Coast DNA, make sure that you hit subscribe there now. Slowed down a little bit here towards the end of the year on the volume of episodes, but we're definitely going to keep moving forward. It's not going away. And for all of those that stayed here right till the end of this interview, now we have a live musical treat for you that we recorded at Wranglers. And we'll be sure to have both of these ladies back on in the future. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you for
you.
having us.
This song is about just loving who you want to love, and we're living in a weird time right now where, you know, it's like you can't love who you love anymore, and there's so much hate in the world. And we write a lot of music about that kind of stuff, but this one just felt really, really close to us, and it's called Holly. Holly was a young singer. She gave up lies and liquor, swore it on the Bible that she never did wrong. But the preacher man, he still lingers, praying that she'd end up bitter, like folks that seem to run this town. And her mama was a cherry fun. She faked a smile for everyone, 'cause she knows that they're talking about her now. And God only knows above that they ain't the holy ones. So they keep on passing judgment, crucifying all of them. So shout what you want, you think you're doing right, 'cause a love like ours will burn through the night. Love who you love, don't let it drag you down. Get out and free of this crooked town. She don't own you, she owes no one, 'cause Holly's just a human. There's a lady on a third last name. She don't carry half the weight, and to praise her as a daughter serving the Lord. And the call of his love burning, say it's a sin that's certain, while this town keeps on burning, burning to the ground. Shout what you think you're doing right, 'cause a love like hers will burn through the night. Love who you love, don't let it drag you down. Get it out, get free of this crooked town. She don't know you, she owes no one, 'cause Holly's just a human. Holly's just a human. There are awful thoughts and prayers while the silence slows the gun. The truth ain't hard to bear, it's just not what's said and done. But don't fear, you're still here, you're not the only one. You're just human, it's okay to carry on. But don't fear, we're still here, you're not the only one.